Hi, I'm Rochelle. The current event I chose to talk about this week is the school shootings that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Two children were killed, dozens wounded, and at the hands of a 23-year-old woman. The reason why I chose this is because it is relevant to me and my everyday life, in that I am a teacher. And every year I receive training that is designed to prepare us to handle situations like this. And this stirs up like a lot of emotions in me, relief and guilt, like guilt for feeling relief, and also knowing that it could have been me and it can be me anytime. So that's the reason why I chose it. And I wasn't sure how I was going to spin this in the beginning because I don't know anything about social welfare policy or anything. I'm really new to this. But after reading the chapter, I thought that, well, there's no better chapter to apply to this than this beginning one. Talked a lot about the differences between values and beliefs, and our other textbook uses values and beliefs, those terms, interchangeably, but I'm intentionally choosing to use the word beliefs in this, which is the book defined it as opinions and kind of like convictions. So this current event is something that's been reoccurring and happening with higher frequency over the years. And there's been no successful policy to address it. And when I sit here and the book said the biggest reason, or probably the only reason why policy doesn't get made is because of disagreements. And that's always kind of, when I thought about it in context of this, I was thinking, well, gosh, what do people have to disagree about? I feel like every single person on this earth believes that children should be safe at school. But that's not the only issue at stake here, and that's not what's happening. There's a lot of other things going on surrounding it, and I think the biggest other belief that's at stake here that is causing people to disagree is the gun aspect and people's right to bear arms. So some people have a very firm belief that they have a right to bear arms. And if they admit that guns are part of the problem, when we need to come up with policy to address this issue of school shootings, they start to, it becomes a very contentious debate because nobody wants to give up that right to bear arms. And even at the expense of like these school shootings, I don't understand it. I feel privileged to not have a past or experience to where I have that very firm fundamental belief in the right to bear arms. I know people do. And I would love to hear some experiences from others that may have that. There's no judgment from me. I just honestly am looking for insight for that. Anyways, so that's one of the things that I would really love for people to share with me. So that's not a news flash. That's not a news flash. That's just me looking at this current event in the lens of chapter 1 of our book. And I'm sure that's been going around in the media for a really long time, but I hadn't really thought of it that way until I read this chapter. The question I'm going to pose to my classmates revolves around the lack of, what is the word I'm looking for? I feel like because they don't want to accept that guns play a part in this, that they're searching for the reasons why, for any other reason why, for it to not be about guns. And in doing so, there's been a lot of suggestions and as to motives and causes for this particular school shooting, in a way to kind of be like a smoke and mirrors type thing. This isn't about guns. It's about being transgender and the plight that may bring and the hurt that caused. That's the reason why this school shooting happened. And in doing that, I fear that it is marginalizing even more a marginalized community. And that the political climate that we are currently in, it is one of, it's an us versus them. And there are people who are just not able to think about this critically. They're just waiting to hear the right words. So when the media or officials throw that out there without any kind of evidence or research or anything to back it up, it's just purely, I don't have any other words to call it, but like a smoke and mirrors strategy. So I fear for the implications that has on transgender community, an already stigmatized, hard, marginalized group of people. I find that really, really sad because people are so quick to blame others. Like, oh, one person is that way, so there must be more of them that are that way. I think that's a really dangerous and concerning move. The other thing that I'm thinking about, and I'm wondering what thoughts are, is another proposed cause or motivation behind this that they're saying is, I think it's like the head of the CDC, Kennedy, who is now trying to say that it could have been, or it can be, the cause of this school shooting could be the increase in, I think it's called SSRI drugs. I'm not sure the acronym for it, but they are, it's a class of drugs that is used to treat mental health conditions. And I also find that dangerous and concerning because we've worked really hard to reduce the stigma behind mental illness and getting treatment for it. And now it is being proposed that because school shootings have increased and the use of this drug has increased, therefore, it's like they're making a correlation without any kind of figures or anything to back it up. And I fear that will further, either there are going to be people who believe that. They just hear it and they believe it. They don't think of it a different way. So I am worried and concerned about how that might affect other people in reaching out and getting the help that they need. So my question to you, what do you think? What do you think the answer is? Do you think we will ever find a way to be able to honor people's right to bear arms while keeping children safe? Do you fear for transgender community and the repercussions of some of these claims? Do you fear for people seeking out or who need mental health interventions but won't now because they're afraid that this medicine might cause them to do something horrible? Love to hear thoughts on this.